buy these powerful Yu-Gi-Oh cards before they skyrocket in price. Christmas edition, because I know you're broke. Happy holidays, everyone, and Yu-Gi-Oh players. This is the perfect time to convince your girlfriend, or your mom for that matter, to buy you some really good Yu-Gi-Oh cards. And today, Big Dog, we're going to be talking about some really cool cards that people are looking into, whether they're future investments or cards that players are buying because of the new Justice Hunters Yu-Gi-Oh set. Let's go ahead and jump on in. What's going on? What's y'all, big dogs? And it is an amazing day for Yu-Gi-Oh! I hope that your day phenomenal. But if it isn't, don't let what happened at the beginning of your day ruin the rest of your day. And for the people that did not know, this is a special time. It's called Update Monday, a particular time where I trick you into thinking that this is a Yu-Gi-Oh video, when in actuality, I want to make you a better person overall. Don't worry, timestamps, and I'm actually going to put them in the video, so use them if you just want to hear about Yu-Gi-Oh. For the people that didn't know, I don't celebrate Christmas, like at all. I actually don't celebrate any holidays. No Christmas, no Kwanzaa, no Hanukkah, no Halloween. I don't celebrate none of that. And my biggest reason why is because I hate a particular time of the year where everybody acts fake just because of the spirit of being good. Like, why couldn't you do that every year? That, and I did think that gifts were artificial. But one thing that I love about life is that we all have a lot of growing to do. You can't just always sit back in the anti-consumerism, anti-conformist society and peer down on people and think that what you do is better because you're not wasting money. I've learned during this time of the year, there's a lot of heartbreak, depression, and unfortunately, there's a lot of self-end. And it's actually a good thing that these type of festivities can bring out the best of people and show people what the world is like. I want to reach out to say to every single one of you guys, whether you guys are celebrating or not, that you matter. And that's really important to me. We all go through things in our life, and a lot of us are really good at hiding it. So if you guys ever need someone to talk to, I have an amazing Discord. Whether it's Yu-Gi-Oh, other card games, whatever, guys, we're pretty chill people. And as long as you keep it respectful, we're all here for you, big dogs. Just like how your wallet ain't gonna be there for you if you don't take advantage of these cards before they skyrocket in price. And don't worry, I got something for everybody. The TCG players, the Genesis players, the investors, and everything in between. I think that it's really important to always understand the dynamics of buying Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Of course, we do this at our own risk at any given time, but understand how and why these cards have the potential to skyrocket in price is going to be just as important. Phantom Revenge is our latest Yu-Gi-Oh set and actually has multiple implications. It introduces 3 new Yu-Gi-Oh strategies that have a ton of potential for the TCG, but 2 very powerful Yu-Gi-Oh strategies for Genesis. So one of the biggest things that we should be looking at is support for the most powerful deck in Cool Tunes, a Yu-Gi-Oh strategy that's based off of synchroing with tuners, using tuners into tuner synchros. What? Cool Tunes is actually a fairly limited Yu-Gi-Oh strategy, seeing that you need to be able to synchro summon into synchro tuner monsters and that there aren't a lot of Cool Tunes synchro monsters just yet. You gotta look somewhere else. The deck can also sometimes lack adequate disruption, but there is a synchro tuner monster that solves all of that. Silvera, Wolf Tamer of the White Forest, is a synchro tuner monster that actually does fix a lot of the deck's issues. This card says when it is special summoned, you get to change all face-up monsters your opponent controls to face-down defense position. This is really good against other Synchro, Link, and Exceed Yu-Gi-Oh strategies, and of course the Mirror Match, because they need those tuners face-up on the field. So in essence, it provides another solid interruption for Cool Tune, but it also doubles back as a White Forest card, because that's originally what the card was for. White Forest has potential in both Genesis and the TCG format, and if I'm being honest, in the Genesis format, it's a lot stronger with Droll and Lockbird increasing its Genesis point cost. And while QCR copies of this card are increasing drastically, there's still ultra rare and prismatic secret rare copies of this card for less than $1. I personally think that the secret rare copies, phenomenal. What a lot of people don't realize is that those Mega Pack secret rares are really hard to come by. Konami has shoved those Mega Tins with so many secret rares, it makes it almost impossible to get exactly what you need from even a few tins, making the card a lot higher to come by. Its price is way too low for how hard it is to get. And while we're on track for Synchro Tuner monsters, Visas Amritera alongside of Vanadium Reframing are also really good cards to pick up. The Manadium deck may have fallen off the map, but Visas Amatera is actually easier to summon than Silvera, saying that you can use multiple tuners to be able to synchro summon with it, which is kind of cool, and it allows you to be able to get a trap card that can negate your opponent's spell, trap, and monster effect activations. Amateras are also creeping up really fast. Quarter century rares are $20, and secret rare copies are finally hitting over that dollar mark. If you guys like Cool Tune and are looking for really good tuner synchro monsters, these are your best bet. In my opinion, Cool Tune has the most potential out of every deck in Phantom Revenge. Not only does it have a very low point cost for Genesis, it also is a Yu-Gi-Oh strategy that will be getting more support in the future. But if you give it enough time, these cards will be insane, which is also why I think players should start picking up their Psy-Frame Gear Gammas in high rarity and their Psy-Frame Delta. This is motivated by multiple things. If you guys look at popular OCG deck lists, they are using Psy-Frame Gear Gamma and Delta inside of their Cool Tune decks. And the reason is simply because if they're in your hand, well, they're tuner monsters for you to synchro summon with, but it's actually a little bit deeper. Psy-Frame Delta is probably one of the strongest hand traps in Yu-Gi-Oh! That's just not played right now. It stops some of the most powerful cards to exist in the entire game. It's almost a no-brainer to have these cards and not need them, than to need them and not have them. I mean, I should know, I picked up my collector's rare copies a month before they got limited. Damn. The cool thing though is that the card is still $50. I think I paid, TJ, how much did I pay per Gamma?
Too much.
Damn. But players are finally starting to figure out that Psy-Frame Delta is really good. The rare version of this card is $7, and the super rare is not too far behind. But the really interesting thing is that the super rare copies are way cheaper than the rares. That doesn't make any sense. The only thing rare about the rare version of the card is how rare you should see it. The super rare copies of Delta come from OTS 25, a relatively recent set, while the originals come from High Speed Riders. Granted, if you want to play the OG copies, then be my guest. But I think it's a pretty good investment to pick up Psy-Frame Deltas because they have so much power in the metagame and they're actually just great Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Also, they're very playable in Genesis. Very playable in Genesis. Lastly, to wrap up our Cool Tune saga, we need to be able to have a card that helps us beat the deck. I mean, it does summon synchro tuners to their side of the field and it spews them out like crazy. If only there was a way to break their board fairly consistently. There is. I don't care if you guys think I'm toxic, one of my favorite cards is Super Polymerization. I subscribe to the Super Poly gang, and I love every single time a generic fusion monster comes out, always has an application. This one just has not had an application since it came out. Sea Monster of Theseus is a long forgotten TCG exclusive with a requirement: 2 tuner monsters. A fusion monster that has 2 tuner monsters as requirement sounds like the worst card in the game. Until you realize you can super poly your opponent's tuner monsters, and that's all Cool Tunes make. Sea Monster of Theseus has 2 printings, Raging Tempest and the 2017 Megatens, and the lowest price, $2 to $3. Brother mans, I'm not telling you guys this is a rational out to Cool Tune right now, but if it ever does become meta, we spanking them with Super Poly. And it's a tuner itself. So Cool Tune players should consider playing it. You got the extra deck space. Now, one thing that you guys should be tuning your deck up with is Raven Wing version 4. Look at here, big dog. Raven Wing is easily the #1 sleeve in the entire universe. Hell, what's that Kendrick Lamar line? I cut my granny off and she don't see how I see it. My granny just happened to agree with this. Ladies, if you want to get your man the perfect Christmas present, or should I say moms, go ahead and go to TheCaliEffect.com and purchase those sleeves today. And for the fellas, treat yourself, big dog. You can go get the cheapest sleeves in the entire universe for me. Also, pick up a mat, because new mats on the way soon, brother. Go to TheCaliEffect.com to get your items today. Now, the next biggest deck is Hecahands. And boy, this deck seems really bad. But I also remember there was a time where Mementos were considered terrible. And as you guys already know, Memento is the best deck in Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Shut up. The series of illusion monsters that allow you to be able to get bodies or powerful spell and trap cards to your side of the field should definitely be supplemented with strategies like the Chimera engine. And players have been buying Gazelle, King of Mythical Claws, as well as Chimera Fusion and Chimera King of Phantom Beasts at a pretty consistent pace. Gazelle is one of the most important cards in the entire deck. Not only does it get you Chimera Fusion to be able to pop off with your combo, it also can potentially add Evil Hero Necroshade for Fiendsmith combo. And then of course, when it's fusion summoned, it gets you right into your illusion monsters, which are Hecahands. Chimera Fusion only has 2 prints, one from the 2024 Megatons, the other from Duelist Nexus, the set that it made its debut in, and Chimera King of Phantom Beasts also doesn't have many prints. These combination of cards have been seeing a huge increase in price. Gazelle is already a nice $2 for the secret rare, and trust me, no one wants the super rares. Chimera Fusion, the highest rarity version, also comes from that same tin, and while it's 30 cents, that can change very soon. Chimera King of Phantom Beasts may not be a central part of the entire strategy, but it's really good because it does allow you to special summon illusion, fiends, or beast monsters in your graveyard. It's also a super poly target, but you didn't hear it from me. While we're also at it, I think I should also throw in Guardian Chimera. This card's crazy. Anytime you get to destroy multiple cards or draw multiple cards inside of one fusion effect sounds really good. And then there's Nightmare Apprentice, a card that I told you guys to buy time after time again, simply because it searches illusion monsters. These cards are not only good for Modern, they are amazing for Genesis. Hecahands has a very low Genesis cost, and this may be the future of what Konami is doing, introducing Yu-Gi-Oh strategies through deck build sets that may not be super strong for the TCG format immediately, but will be strong in Genesis and get stronger over time for both formats. I think this is their way for funneling in Yu-Gi-Oh players from Genesis into the TCG, and if you ask me, it's pretty smart. The last deck from Phantom Revenge, Enneacraft. Enneacraft doesn't have a lot of great things going for it. I think cards like Winged Dragon or Sphere Mode are really good cards you should always have. And fortunately enough, there's a pretty wide selection of Sphere Modes to choose from. You can choose the Ghost Rare Balls, where no one can actually see them. You can choose your Super Shiny Balls, the 25th Anniversary Quarter Century Rares, where everyone can see how big your chunkus are. But if you're just an ordinary Joe Schmo, there's Supers, Secrets, Commons, Ultimate Rares, and of course, Prismatic Secrets, Fake Collector's Rare. Sphere Mode is ironically one of those staple old school Yu-Gi-Oh cards, kind of like the video that I talked about addressing some really powerful old Yu-Gi-Oh cards that can be pretty good in today's meta. And while I am pretty much done with Enneacraft, support the Mega Monarch is gimmicky, but I guess if you want to buy it, you should. I think it's time that we start focusing on some other cards that you should be investing into. One of them has a little bit of ban list implications. Crowley the Gifted Magistus was a card that went up in price, but then went back down. The reason why is because we don't have all of the cards to make Magistus good just yet. Dracotail could also be hit on the ban list, but I strongly think that Dracotail will be hit on the ban list to make Magistus sellable. There's a reason why we haven't got the last pieces of Magistus support, Magistus Spoon. And there's also a reason why Master Duel in the OCG has it way before us. I think they trying to test and push all the buttons to see what they can hit on Dracotail to force you to play this version, giving it more competitive viability over a longer span of time. I mean, look, it might be conspiracy Cali thinking, but it's not too far off of a solid business strategy. Regardless, if you guys missed out on the first wave, I think that you should buy Crowley the Gifted Magistus as soon as you can. The card has no reprint anytime soon. And there's still some other cards that I think we should be talking about. Inside of the legendary 5Ds decks, that has so much value. The Mold Chummy cards are common. Pick those up. There's a reason why the 5Ds decks have went up in price. Their MSRP was supposed to be $30, but I've seen people sell them for $50. If I'm being so real, 3 copies of the Charmies is a legendary 5Ds decks anyways, so you're probably better off just picking up the box set a couple of times. This, in my opinion, is the closest that we're going to get to a modern day Dual Devastator. But big dogs, that's pretty much all that I have for cards that I think you should buy before they skyrocket in price. Of course, as always, let me know what you guys think about these cards. Are there some secret cards that people should be looking out for? Again, guys, let me know down below in the comment section what should those cards be, and also let me know if there's any other type of videos you want to see. As always, I hope you guys are having an amazing holiday, and I can't wait to See you on the next video.